line. Check the radio, pit crew is far from slow. The lights no longer yellow. Ready, steady, go. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 In love with the ride. Burning rubber smells real nice. Fuel it up once or twice. Come on, fast is the way to drive. Crowds all on their feet. Not one bothered by the heat. Imagine them in the driver's seat. Checkered flag would be sweet. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Everybody get ready. On your feet. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Crank it up.
Your eyes do not deceive you, race fans. We are live here at Daytona International Speedway here as we get ready for Pushing Limit Racing League's Legacy Truck Series race here with a 40-lap main eventer here at Daytona Beach, Florida. Hi everyone, I am the Crusader. Joining you guys here today as we're getting ready to get to the action here on the show. Whole host of drivers right now preparing up for battle, preparing to go at it one-on-one in a climactic sequence with one more race remaining after this one. Things are certainly heating up around here, and they're about to get even faster here than ever before. Let's take a look at our starting lineup today. In the pole, they'll drive the 3 up to 21 as the Rattlesnake Robert Kahn on the outside of him, and the 76 Mike Rideout. If row number 2 is going to be Matthew Hawk for the 84 outside of him, number 5 it is going to be the Throttle Chantel Pottle. Row number 3 is going to be Tyler Ork in the 80 outside, and number 3 is going to be Jason Henry. And row number 4 it'll be Michael Pratt in the 45, with the 14 of Christian Charver joining the final starters. 8 trucks here for this one. Should be interesting to see kind of how these drivers handle their nerves, handle themselves here when they get later into the run here. Of course, these legacy trucks are no pushover, and they're a little bit difficult to kind of work around and master in some cases. Side drafting here going to be extremely difficult. Really going to have no choice or chance there. You're going to have a lot of issues going later and later on into the race as you go further into the depths. Drivers need to be careful and patient about how they bump and push here on this track. Lining up down around the corner of turn number 4 this time on by here. 40 laps to the distance. We'll bring the base car off for the track and set our drivers down to the stage. It's green flag racing here. Pushing Limit Racing League back at it. Legacy Truck Series on the show. Laps to the distance for 8 drivers here. We'll see what happens as we get them rolling them right off the start down through turn number 3 into turn number 4 here. Out of the gate, though, it is going to be Kahn driving topside immediately. These bad boys, they can get up the speed. They can kick up a little bit more momentum than you'll usually see some other cars out there, or other trucks in that case as well. These things are built and designed to test to their limits, as they were modeled and shaped after the OG, if you will, Chevrolet Silverados back in the 08 days, the 08 campaign, before we had the more sophisticated looks of what we got today now, which look a little more to their actual stock shark counterparts. Lining it back around off of turn number 2, excuse me. It is Hoffert, who's got the bottom lane kind of reeling all to himself here as he's trying to make a move off on the number 3 of Kahn. The Summit iRacing.com. Number 84 looking to try and grasp the top spot in the top honors while the field works their way right off around down through turn number 3 and down this time into turn 4. Pit road strategy is going to be very optimistic here. You have a chance to really go halfway into the run. You have a chance to go 2 stops in or go 1 stop. That's your choice. It's a very tough little deal though, because if you go for the 1 stop, you're risking literally being a lap short or about a lap less than maybe you really need. And considering how difficult and tough this competition is, you really have to be careful about that and not give up too much. As you see Khan, Rideout, and Pottle working the outside. Meanwhile, back in the back, Christian Schreiber staying out of the way. Same for Diener and Jason Henry in the 3. Probably expecting anybody to get out of control or get out of hand. Look at Pottle though. Drives it straight into the inside zone, looking for some maneuvering and looking for some passing opportunities. I think we kind of donned her and quick nicknamed her the queen of plate tracks. She's the only woman to ever win as many races as she has here on our show with these tracks, with these races. Although she did tell me earlier today, just stick with my nickname, the Throttles, thank you. So she does not like being called the queen of plate tracks, but if you look at her stats, she's won more plate tracks than some drivers have even won races on this show. Just tells you how tough it is just to win out here and how crazy some of these racetracks and races can be. And if you want to try and say it's illegitimate, it's not as legitimate as some other speedways, I'll tell you, it's completely dead wrong. We got to give some other drivers out there wins like Dale Earnhardt Sr. on championships in races like this, even Junior and all them, then in my opinion, these races do mean something and they are legitimate, because otherwise we wouldn't have cared about them. So for that group out there that says they don't, man, these plate track races, you can't discredit them, and you cannot think for 1 second they are not of a caliber the same that you would see on a 1.5 mile or a mile long tracks or less. Without a doubt, speed's cooked up a bit, cooked up some power around the track zone here. Hoffert and Pottle battling up bottom and tops right now. Hoffert had the early advantage on the bottom lane, getting pushed around though by the 8 of Jason Henry and Mike Rideout, Tyler Orrick, and then Rideout on the top side. Jason Henry lay low. Thinking about last couple weeks here when we were at the plate tracks, Henry and Hoffert were pushing each other quite a bit. Orrick was kind of in the mix as well. We know Schreiber was kind of hanging around there somewhere. Michael Pratt right now just trying to stay out of trouble here. Probably focusing in on his control of his speed, kind of endurance here. He's looking for it. Good qualify 7th, and he's staying in the 7th spot so far. Pumping them around down through the corner ends and down through the turns and then back into the straightaway. Pretty impressive so far. They have been as close as they are and as pushing as hard as they are, and yet no one has gotten themselves into trouble. No one has gotten out of hand just yet. It's been a stable consistency. Back on around off the top side here, Khan and Pottle trying to push each other as far as they can right now. Khan trying to get the race lead away from the 5 as well as the 84. And he's trying to dip it down in there, trying to push that 5 as hard as he can. Has to back off a little bit though. It gives Hoffert a golden opportunity to strike on the bottom. Nice push back there from the 84 and 8 there as both drivers on the bottom lane managed to keep Pottle and Khan at bay. Khan and Pottle, though, way too aggressive and way too hard off on the turns. They've got to realign the strategy here. They've got to do some hand signals to really get a better idea of when they need to push and when they need to get out of that route. Henry, Rideout, Schreiber, and Pratt. Lane lack low of the other drivers here. Again, you can really build a good run and a good amount of speed if you're willing to work together here. And you can even see the eyes and the focus on the 76 of Mike Rideout right now. He's not really thinking about anything else other than just taking full control of where his location is and where his speed is hitting at. Definitely got the power up for grabs. You can just see him just kind of maneuvering through, pull down everything in sight. Driver backing off yet again here. It looks like he doesn't want anything to do with the guys in the back there. We go on board with him. As you can see, just different interiors of what these trucks look like versus what they look like nowadays. Trying to stay out of trouble, trying to stay in control of their own destinies here. Every driver knows that they have so much at stake, so much on the line. And And those pit stops too definitely are making the top two right now. I've got to believe a little skirmish about when they, and where they make their choice and where their call to go in. For Hoffer right now, I think his main strategy is really point simple. Just stay out of trouble. Let the guys in the back kind of push him around a little bit and help him out. For the guys and gals up the top side, it's really picking your poison, picking your choice. When do you want to start really ramping things up and getting harder into the throttle before you really have to actually get some momentum kicked up and really more closer your way. The routes they take is incredibly strong though and very tough to handle. And you're probably thinking at home, oh, this can't be that hard. Yeah, well, they're only up front just being pushed around. There's nothing like that at all there that you can't do. Well, let me be the first to iterate to you guys that if you go on board here with the 5 cent bottle, you can already see she's still having to turn the wheel in. She's still having to be careful about when and where she makes her move. And you can just see how close they get. She's having to literally just kind of oversteer it and then understeer it just to try to keep it from getting too loose or getting too tight. You see that force feedback absolutely kicking in as much as possible, and that one bump on that rear end almost turns this thing into a drag racer. You're not going to get much chance to really get out of it or back in control of your own truck before it's too little too late. And that's the thing they worry about, and that's what they try to avoid every time they get lined up and in these positions. Because it's so easy to do one little wrong bump draft or one little wrong spot, and the next thing you know, it's a collateral damage duty for you, my friend. Field leaning their way back into those corners here and into the zones here. Every driver right now focusing highly on where they're going and what they're trying to perform here. We're on lap 11 of 40. We're 1/4 of the way there. Pit stops still yet to have been made, and drivers continuously trying to overshadow and overvade the troublesome scenarios that come into their minds. They're trying to steer clear of. Right out, Con, Pottle right now, all ends of the spectrum, all ends of the cornering. Staying in control of their own destiny and trying to stay out of trouble. Pottle kind of moving in the middle yet again. I don't know if that was maybe just a big push there from Con, or maybe she just got a little bit loose entering into the turn. Either way, could have been a problematic zone there. She stays out of trouble though and stays in her own wheelhouse, trying to avoid the problems the other drivers could bring to her. Tyler Ork, meanwhile, we go on board with him. As you watch carefully, you can see just kind of what it takes just to even stay in this trap, stay in this push. You're really the meat of the sandwich, and you're literally the driver that's having to help the other guy in front of you stay in good contention here. It's a very tough little spot to be put into, and it's a very tight ordeal to really have to work around, and these drivers know that all too well. Con keeping a close eye on everything, meanwhile trying to avoid other issues at hand as well. Back on board Michael Pratt, the number 485, as you see him currently also having the troubles of holding the truck down, trying to keep everything nice and stable. Again, it all just hinders on one thing. Can you stay in the zone, and can you stay in that wheelhouse to avoid any collateral damage or anything that could affect you? As for the draft-wise, this is a good example here. Jason Henry, despite you think he may be too far back in the draft, he's actually in a very favorable position. But look, I want you to take a look somewhere quick. Look at the bottom right of your screen there, the oil temperature, and then look at the bottom left just a little bit where the water temperature is. Notice how, as soon as he gets into that draft, look at the oil and water as it starts to rise up. It gets higher and higher because he's literally having to jam the throttle down. That oil and water temp increases as he goes around. There you see it dips back down. He dips back down and actually gets out of trouble there. But again, you have to be very, very careful, because once you get too far in that draft, you get too much push up, then it really becomes a detriment and a factor to you and the team. And again, you don't see it really cook up, or you don't really see it go higher until you see drivers really start to push the limits and try to push the truck as fast as they can. But you go so far with it, eventually, again, you can only go as hard with that truck as the tank will allow and as much as the engine will allow, especially. The engines on these things can go roughly about 25 laps straight if you're in a big push for the other driver to stay ahead or stay in that control. So, this race. 25 laps left to go, though. That's how far. And again, Hopper, and Khan, and Pottle have been the front runners, and Oric as well. Can't forget the K&M 8 machine. But we are venturing into pit road territory. Look at the 5 now. She dips down low. Looks like she's getting ready for pit road. Everybody getting ready for pit road now, looks like. Right out, Henry as well as Shriver also getting up there with it. Let's see if they go to pit stop here. They are all lined up in position for the pit stops. Nobody goes this time. Interesting. Interesting play. Everybody heading to the bottom immediately almost to just kind of symbolize what they were wanting to do, but nobody goes in yet. I don't know if that was just a strategic move, or if anything was really on their minds that said, don't do it just yet, it's not worth it. It's hard to really tell sometimes, because again, a lot of drivers, they try to not let in on their secret until literally the time has come to execute that plan and put it into formation. It's also kind of hard to tell, really, just in terms of driver set mindset, like what they want to do or what they plan to do until really they get later on into that run. I've seen it before, and I'll say it again. You know, you can't judge a book by its cover, and you certainly can't judge when someone wants to equal the odds up and make things just a little bit more interesting. Oh! And there went a motor. I just heard one go. Michael Pratt, the 45 has blown a motor. He has indeed, race fans. The motor has quit on the 45, and he just lost there on lap number 17 going into 18. We're going to go on board with him as they're getting ready to head to the pit stops. Listen to the motor. Listen to this. Well, a bit weird there. I don't know if he had a little mishap there and ended up just getting into the clutch there as he was coming around, or what was going on there, but something did not go well, unfortunately, and that ended up costing Michael Pratt his time. The 45, major damage set on the back of his truck, also the 5 of Chantal Pot on the front of her nose. Very weird situation there. Leading their way down the back straightaway. Look at this. Shriver, I don't think he really cares too much about everyone else's ideas are. I think he's got his own plans in mind. He's going the outside, trying to pass all of them. Everybody's staying low. Meanwhile, the 14, Big Turk, he's sending it to the top. I think he's trying to make a pass up there to the pit road. I'm not so sure it's a smart move, though. They'll go to pit road now. And Carter around. Whoa! Almost having Henry and Khan almost get into it there, entering in the turn. The battle of the threes. Henry in his proper 3, Khan supposed to be driving the 21. Send them on back here. We'll take it to the blimp cam and get ready to go here as they're about to enter into their pit stops. Hoffer gets in first. They'll send it in. Shriver. Oh, wow, Shriver! Getting taken there by Wright out there, entering into the pit stop. They couldn't get into the pit stall. Now he's got to refire and get it squared up there. Unfortunately, here comes Hoffer out of pit road. Lost time, unfortunately, for Wright out and for Shriver. Shriver's going to get packed down. Right out, trying to get out quickly. Khan's back in the throttle. Henry's back in there too. But Hoffer just gained a huge amount of momentum, taking the lead away. Mike right out late to the party, late out of pit road. Oric and Shriver, the same deal. Looks like Oric might have had a time second penalty. Shriver, well, kind of got really wrecking himself out there on the front, on the pit stall area. Thankfully, no driver or any crew members involved in that are hurt. They're leaning back around here off of turn number 3. And Pottle diving in deep on the top side. There is major damage on the rear end of Khan here. Look at the rear end of that truck. It is damaged. It's badly hurt. Will he be able to push and run as hard with everyone else as they may think? Henry going to try to help him out a little bit, looks like. See if we got a chase cam on that one, guys. Give me that drone cam down there right now. Here we go. Let's take a look at that. Drone cam engaged. Look at the 3's rear end. That thing is completely destroyed. The aerodynamics of the truck cannot sustain that kind of momentum and that mobility there and get into control of that momentum. Don and Bottle and Henry right now trying to help each other out to see what they can do. Hoffer passed up there. Bottle, Kahn, and Henry moving ahead. Hoffer knew he had to make a big move there with strategy, but I don't know if the fuel mileage is going to really work his way there in that case. We'll hopefully see how it digs down and really takes himself into control. Henry in the middle of the line right now, the 3 tied machine. Tried to turn the tide of his season, and especially on play tracks. He told me earlier today, folks, all the races I go to and I deal with, it seems like flight tracks either are my absolute best or my absolute worst. And what he meant by that was he has the best times with it sometimes, and then he has the absolute worst times with it sometimes, because he just can't seem to grasp or grip why he can't get this thing to just sit him down and control his own destiny, his own momentum. And he's told me numerous times he's been trying to figure it out why that is, but very difficult in these kind of terms and conditions, man. You really got to watch what you're up to and what you've been planning out there. It's beautiful momentum here from the 14 of Shriver, as well as Tyler working the 8. And you can see, look at the oil temperature right there. That's ramping up even higher than before. He went from about a 190 to about a 200 there. Did you see? That is the fuel temp, that is the oil temp and the water temp I was telling you guys about. Notice how hard he's pushing that 8 on the rear bumper, and it just drops right up to a solid about 205, somewhere around there. That is why we tell you guys, when you're in these cars, you have got to be very careful when you make your move and when you time your move. To have more tape, you gain more speed, but putting more tape on is a very difficult and risky maneuver because, again, you can't overheat the engine. You overheat that engine, it's like a PC. You overclock that thing and it just fries itself out. You got nothing. You have no motor. You have nothing inside that runs the PC. The same thing happens with a truck or a car. If you overhit the engine and rev it up too much, you have no heart. The thing is gone. It can't live without the heart. The heart is the engine. Hoffer right now looking like maybe he needs to get a little bit more of that heart going too, because right now he's kind of trapped between a rock and a hard place here, dealing with Jason Henry, Robert Kahn, and Chantel Pano right in front of him here. Steve McDowell says, can't control luck, LOL. No, you can't control luck, but at the same time, it still takes skill to even get into that position to have a little bit of luck. You can't just go driving around thinking it's like a day drive there, my friend. there is still a bit of skill that goes along with these kind of races. And yes, there is luck at play tracks. I'll say that too. Backing him down the front straightaway here. Pottle continuing to hold the line down. Khan still trying to hang in there. Henry watches from behind. Michael Pratt 4 laps down, probably a bit gassed up after his issues he suffered earlier. And it looks like he's got Mike right behind him now, trying to work with him. Right out again, struggling from pit road. A lot of that having to do with that little tangle he got with the 14 of Shriver, and Tyler Orrick tangled up due to timing here. Donald says it'll definitely take skill. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, if it was all luck these play track races, then I mean, either I'm the unluckiest man alive, or there is somebody out there that blessed the greats like the Alabama gang, or literally Bill Elliott, Dale Earnhardt Sr. and Jr., and even some of the absolute best that right now are still in NASCAR running the heck out of those tracks, like Brad Keselowski. So I always will say this, and I always say kind of point blank, you have talent and multiple drivers out there, but yet the same winners seem to find themselves back in victory lane on these tracks. To me, it just isn't complete coincidence. Yeah, you get lucky sometime, but you could get lucky at any track, really. Racing in general is just way too much on having to focus on that luck, and also at the same time trying to get the skill involved with it. There is a lot of luck that goes involved because, well, number one, there's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of mechanical parts, so you don't know when something's going to break or something goes down or something just completely throws your entire race into a pandemonium. And those cautions, too, that also can change the outlook and change the game plan and strategies out. That's another thing we always talk about. You got to watch out for every little thing, and it just becomes a mental process that only the best are able to truly diverse and understand. Speaking of diversifying right now, currently as we're looking at fuel runs and everything, it looks like Pottle, Kahn, and Henry and Hofford may need to go back into pit road here shortly in a few laps, because it looks like they are running out of laps here and running out of time. Now, they had all gone into pit road, our calculations at lap 19, but remember, this is a 40-lap race, so that means they are going to be a little bit short in terms of the fuel. If I said the engine was the heart of a truck or a car, then the oil is without a doubt the blood that helps pump the heart. And down to pit road. This is what we were talking about. When were they going to go into pit road, and when was it going to happen? Bottle, Kahn, Alfred, good pit stops there. Jason Henry going to stay out a little bit longer. He'll take the race lead away. We'll have to see how that strategy goes out. Drivers in pit road. Let's watch them carefully here. Kahn's going to go in, definitely get an instant repair done. He's going to have to. Hoffer going to be right there and really laying their way in. Hoffer's coming out ahead of the 5. Kahn trying to get ahead too. Good pit stops between the 3. Jason Henry staying out on the bunch here. as Hoffert, Pottle, and Kahn run the gauntlet out on the track. Meanwhile, up ahead here, drivers taking over position now have to figure their pit stops out. Looks like Tyler Orrick and Christian Shriver are trying to work a little bit with Rideout and Pratt. Unfortunately for them, it looks like Pratt and Rideout wanted nothing to do with them down there. Jace Henry staying out another lap. It looks like that will score the field in yet again. Henry is going to definitely push a lot of limits here, trying to stay in control. You got three different storylines going on right now. The absolute madman that is Jason Henry trying to lead out the most laps of time here. Pottle, Kahn, and Halford trying to figure out their best way around one another. Top line going to Pottle and Kahn. Halford down low. He's going to try a slingshot it back into the draft. Pottle now takes over the 5th spot. Battle for the lead here is still Henry. It's 14 seconds ahead of the distance, and he'll go to pit road now. Pit stop's going to be made, and strategy's going to be thrown into adverse position. Shriver and Orrick not wasting any more time. They got right back into the fight here. They are going to now take over for the race lead. And Rideout looks like he might be on a fuel strategy now. Looks like he's starting to clutch a little bit. He's backing off from the field a little. I think he's starting to see really where he's at. He has enough to do it, but I don't know how to try it. It's one thing to do it. It's another to actually execute and try and actually get it done here. Pottle, Kahn, and Hofford though right now, if any of those go into pit road, those three are back in the lead here. Steve McDonald saying, I got you beat, being the most unlucky. I control the whole race and still get cook out at the end. Yeah, I'm right there with you, man. I've been there before. There's still one race that I really wish I never had happen that I got taken out on, but I'm not going to that one. That doesn't even bring any good memories. Coming down pit road, though. Shriver, slight advantage over the 8. And I think he's learned his lesson this time. Looks like he's going to try and stay out of trouble. Mike Rideout. He's going to go the distance. Henry's already back up in the spot there. He's going to try to catch it with the other 3 drivers. But Rideout, he's going a full distance run. He wants the distance. He wants to finish it out. We got 6 laps remaining. Pottle, Kahn, and Hofford. Looks like their strategy's going to pay off here. But will Rideout's pay off? That 76 MRM machine right now is putting up a daring move. He wants to go the full distance. And if he gets caught, he knows he's going to have to fight him, or he's going to have to try to find a way to catch their trap and then save some more and then go for the slingshot pass. But again, it's very difficult to get a good slingshot and a good move off when drivers are making sure they stay in control of their own destinies and stay in control of the speed at hand. So far today, the only unfortunate situation we've seen was really Pratt losing the motor on the front straightaway. Shriver getting clipped there in pit road with Rideout unfortunately taking a bit of an issue, but Rideout able to manage to come back alive at least. Time running out though, 5 laps remain. If these 3 want to catch Rideout, they're going to have to do more than just draft right now. They're going to have to start pushing some limits. They are a far back gap between the field. 13 seconds separating them out. Could Rideout possibly pull off the biggest upset of the day? Or will we possibly see these 3 go back at it one more time? These 3, it seems like whenever they get on a plank track, they will just trot and trade it for the wins. Pottle, Kahn, Hoffert, using the draft as much as possible to catch this guy that is just kind of the lone survivor of the group, if you will. The daringest of them all in terms of fuel mileage here. Shriver and Pratt right now working with each other a little bit here. Orrick, Henry, and now them a little bit farther back. Jason Henry looks like he had to go back into pit road. That'll cost him even more time. Kahn probably looking at some opportunities here to make a move on that 5 here. Rideout those scores another lap. 3 laps remain. We know Pottlecon and Hoffert are on enough fuel. We don't know about Rideout though, and especially with that elusive feeling too of having to worry about that caution coming out. You just never know what happens anymore, but I don't think we're going to have that situation pop up and really go against anybody. Rideout is slowing down tremendously though. It looks like he might be running low. He's running very low. He's going topside now. He knows they're coming for him up on the bottom. He's going to try to slingshot them and try to stabilize the gap. Looks like his strategy to stay out far ahead enough was not going to work. Now when you got three trucks drafting off one another, literally turning themselves into a heat-seeking missile. Good luck with that. Down to the verge off 2 laps to go. Rideout though has a chance. But he's got to figure out a maneuver here. Does he try to block or does he try to draft? He's going to find himself in that position right now. They're deadlocked right for him. The Battle of Auto Racing League number 5. Chantal Motto right now trying to push it in the Push Limits Racing League agenda here. Trying to stabilize to Rideout. Trying to get the draft. She's got a lock on him. And it looks like this one could be hers or Kahn's to lose, or Hoffert's as well. They'll lead him down through turn number 4. Rideout. Looks like he'll give him the lane. We've got the white coming out. One more lap to win. And Rideout has all but lost fuel, and he's lost the strategy here. There's nothing he can do about it. Now the battle goes between Kahn, Pottle, and Hoffert. Will the Rattlesnakes strike him? Will Hoffert make his move? Or will Pottle continue to hold on? She has blocked and garnered a lot of shots at everybody today, and she's looking to try to finish it out on a high note. Looking into the inside, down the outside, back down to the bottom, back to the top. Pottle defending off Kahn. We're going to lead him down here, straight off of turn number 4. Checkered flags coming out. Hoffert, no momentum. Pottle and Kahn are going to take this one home, but it's Chantal Auto winning at Daytona. I don't know how many wins she's got on these play tracks. I don't know how many wins she'll add on in due time. One thing is for certain. Chantal Pottle dominates it again at another play track. She's won at all 3 of them. Daytona, Talladega, and iRacing Super Speedway. The only ones really she said she had left on that agenda was just Atlanta. And she said eventually that will come. But for this one, it's a sweet moment as victory lane celebrations go for the 5 of Chantal Pottle. What a race here at Daytona, race fans. Here is your results. The Throttle Chantal Pottle does it again with Robert Kahn taking it home in second. Matthew Hoffer gave it his heart. Tried to throw for this last slingshot. Couldn't get it to go for third. Chris Shriver going to take home fourth despite all his issues. Tyler Ware goes fifth. Rideout goes sixth. Jason Henry is going to go seventh. Eighth. Michael Pratt. That will line up for our positions today. Alright, race fans, that will do it for your coverage here on the YouTube live stream. We will be on Facebook Live later today as we give you Six Sigma Sim Racing's Oval League down at the famed Norfolk Spruce Speedway. A racetrack will be completely revived once again with some modern day cars coming your way here shortly. But thanks so much for tuning in here on YouTube Live with Pushing Limit Racing League. We'll see you next time.